Hey guys, this is Aaron from Geeky Development and welcome to our weekly tutorials. And this week I'll be showing you how to create delayed actions in your projects. So in the simulator here, I have an example of what we were creating. We have a simple round rect button here. Once we hit it, an action will be delayed within 5 seconds. And another part of this tutorial, there will also be a delayed reaction within the delay reaction, which is kind of confusing to explain, but if I just quickly show you now, I'll hit the button, a label will be displayed, and 5 seconds a second label will be displayed, and then 5 seconds after that it shall switch to our second view. So the best way I can explain it is by showing you. So push me. In 5 seconds a label will be displayed, so we just wait now, and then our second label displayed, and in 5 seconds the view will switch, which there we go to our second view. Now all that happened in delayed reactions within 5 seconds of each other. Now I'll be showing you how to create this in the tutorial today. So already my project's set up. It's a simple single view application for the iPhone, and I've simply named it Delay Actions for the purpose of this tutorial. Now the first thing we need to do is create our outlets and actions. So if you go into our view controller.h, and just after the UI view controller, do a bracket and press enter. I press enter a few times so you can see. Now I zoom in there. So we need to create two labels. So do IB outlet space UI label space asterisk, and then we'll name this simply label 1. We'll copy that and do another one and change it to label 2. And just after the second curly bracket, we add our IB action and name it push me. Just get rid of the colon and the ID sender, and then end that with a semicolon. And then we need to create two voids. So we do dash bracket void bracket, and I'll name the first one delay 1, and again repeat the process, and we'll call this one delay 2. So we can save that, and we zoom out now. The next part after the actions and the outlets, we need to import our second view class. So we just go to new file and make sure you click a UI view controller subclass. I'll simply name it second view. Make sure it has an XIB for the interface, and just create that into our project now. So the new classes should appear at the top here. There we go. So now we've got our actions and our outlets. If we go to our view controller.m, and just under the import, I'll zoom in for you now. We need to import our new view. We named it second view, so just import that there and save it. And now just after the implementation, let's put enter a few times so we can clearly see what we're typing out. And now we need to do our action button, which we named it simply push me. Again, just get rid of the colon and the ID sender if that pops up on you. After that, we do bracket and press enter. Okay then, so when we hit our IB action button, we want the first label to display simply our text, which in the simulator I did in 5 seconds, the second label will be displayed. So to do that, we type in our first name of our label, which named it label 1, dot text, space, equals, space, @ symbol, quotation mark. Now in between the two quotation marks is the text which the label will display, which I'll simply put in 5 seconds, the second label will be displayed. And at the end of that quotation mark here, we do a semicolon. So as soon as I hit the button, our label will display the text here between the two quotation marks. And now for it to activate our first delay, we simply do bracket self perform selector at selector. Now in this selector name here, we simply type in the name of our first void, which will be our first delay. So as we named them delay 1 and we named the one delay 2, we'll do the first one first. So delay 1 with object in the ID we do nil. space after delay. Now this is the time, in the ns time interval here, we do the amount of seconds we want before the delay action happens. So like I said, in the label we set it to 5 seconds, so we just do simply 5 seconds. You can change it to whatever you want, like 1 second, 10 seconds or a minute. It's entirely up to you how you do it. But yeah, then we do a bracket and a semicolon. Now when we hit that button, our label will display this text, and it will also activate our first delay within after 5 seconds. So now if we do the coding for our first delay, which we do dash bracket void bracket, and our first delay, which is delay 1 space bracket, and then press enter. What we're going to do in this delay is simply display our second label, which if we type it out now, label 2 dot text space equals space add symbol quotation mark. It's very similar to the first one, but this one we'll type in 5 seconds the view will simply switch. Let's change that there to get rid of the capital. So the view will switch, and a semicolon on that. So basically what's happening now is when our delayed action here is activated in 5 seconds, the delay 1 here will display this text here in our label 2 after the 5 seconds, obviously. Now once it's done that, we're also now going to want to activate our other void statement within our first delay. So a little bit confusing here now. So once our first delay is activated, within the delay it will activate our second delay. So we can just copy this here and paste it in, but we need to change the name of our delay it's activating. So we do delay 2, and again we're going to do it after the 5 second mark. So basically when the first delay is activated, it should display our text and then activate our second delay, which if we type our second delay out now, so void bracket delay 2 bracket and press enter. Now our second delay will switch to our second view. So as soon as it's activated, just like the previous one here where it display text, this one will switch to our second view. Now we named our second view simply second view, so we just type in now the code for when we switch to a different view. So if I quickly type this out now, second equals bracket bracket second view space alloc bracket init with nib name. In the first side of the section we type in nil, and then in the bundle nil again, and that very bracket and a semicolon. Now press enter, we do bracket self present module view controller. We type in second, which we named it, and in the animated we do capital yes, and then a bracket and a semicolon. Now we can save that. So if I just zoom out now, and if you want to pause the video here and catch up on any of that coding, but now I'll just give you a quick run through of what's going to happen again. When we press our round back button, our action button here, push me, our first label will simply display our text here, and at the same time it will activate our first delay, which is at here, and our delay will happen within 5 seconds. So after the 5 seconds our delay is activated, it will display this text here in our second label, and at the same time it's displaying our text, it will activate our second delay, and again it will activate that after 5 seconds, just like the first one did. And then after that 5 seconds, when our second delay is activated, it will switch to our second view, which we've set it here. So that's simply what's going to happen. So it's a pretty cool thing to do. You can do some brilliant stuff with delays. So it's really good feature for any application. So now if we go into our view controller.xib, in the first view here, we're going to want to put in 2 labels. I'll make them the same size and just put one underneath the other, just like we've done in this simulator. Now I'll center it and just get rid of the text. So now I'll copy and paste that. So we have 2 blank labels just underneath each other, and then a round rect button, simply saying push me, like we named it in our actions. So if we go to File Zoner now, and then just link up the connections, so label 1 to label 1. Just need to bring that down a bit there. Label 2 to label 2, and then finally our push me action to our button. And we'll do something simple like touchdown. So now we're doing that, we can save that. Now if we go to our second view.xid, and we'll just add in our label, just to simply display second view, so you know it's gone to the second view, which you will anyway, but just to reassure you, just save that. We can go straight to build and run now, and we can test it out and show you what we've just created. Okay, then so now once it's loaded up, we have our button here. As soon as we hit it, our first label will display our text. So in 5 seconds, the second label will be displayed. So in 5 seconds, it should activate the first delay, which there we go, which activates our second delay, and we'll switch to our second view. There we go. So that's simply how you use delayed reactions. And I'll quickly show you it again by building it again, as I quite enjoy the delayed reactions, and I find them quite fun to mess around with them and create some funny stuff. So if we press it once more, so within 5 seconds our first delay is activated, and that will activate our second delay to switch views. And there we go. So it's a brilliant feature you can add to your application. So that's simply how you create it. I hope this helps in any of your apps or projects at the moment. If you haven't, make sure you subscribe, and please like the video, thumbs it up, favourite it. Leave us a comment if you want to suggest any tutorials yourself, or if you want to leave us any feedback on how we can improve our tutorials. Make sure you subscribe, and I'll see you all next week in our next tutorial. Hey guys, Aaron here. Please support us by liking us on Facebook, following us on Twitter, and checking out all our apps by simply searching Geeky Lemon on the App Store. And make sure you visit our website, where we have a full list and full source code for all our tutorials, and visit our blog, forums, and all the other great features we have to offer on our website.